G'day. Well, today I thought I'd take a break from working and do something that I love but haven't had much of a chance to do for quite some time. Just been busy with other stuff. And that's to do some photography. So I've got my good old camera and tripod, and I've got the drone in my backpack. I'm going to head down to the river. There's a lot of really nice photographs along the way that I want to take, and then I want to get the drone up down at the river because as mentioned previously, we've found where the underground river goes in. So I want to get some good quality footage of that to show you. So let me show you some of the photographs and drone footage that I've taken. Well, this is an angle that we haven't seen before. So normally we come in over there, just to the right of these rapids. So I've come all the way down around the end, been down here doing a bit of photography, come all the way through. Yeah, you can see how big that pool is from up here. And then the river ducks off around to the left there, or the right as you're coming downstream. And that's where we're heading, down around the corner, because that's where the underground river starts. I just spotted something really interesting up here. I hope the video actually enables you to see the scale of this. So here we are, way above the water. We're a fair way up. And have a look what I've just found. There's a car tyre in amongst a heap of driftwood. That's got to be a good 10, maybe even 15 metres above the waterline out there. So when it floods right up to this level sometimes. That is incredible, the amount of water. Now, I don't know how often it floods like that, but you can see there's a pile of debris over in the corner there too. The logs are piled right up in there. That's just an amazing amount of water, huge volume of water that would be pushing down that river and then trying to get through that small gap just over there. So there's a small gap between this big rock and over the other side there's just a little gap in there, which is probably why it builds up so high in here. And up the top there, that's where we want to build our main home eventually. We'll clear a patch off of the top of that ridge. Fingers crossed, in the next several years, that's where the main house will be. Okay, I'm perched on a tiny little space in here, not much more than about this by this. Just down there is where the river disappears to the underground river. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the drone off from here, fly it around and show you. calibrate the compass first. Okay, here we go. All right, we're away. All right, here we go. we have the drone back successfully. Happy days. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little piece of footage. Certainly had my heart in my mouth. It's always interesting when you're flying the drone around in such narrow spaces like this, but hopefully the footage is worth it. As you can see, it doesn't go underground for long. Further down the river though, apparently it does go underground. It goes underground for quite substantially longer as well, but this piece here is quite impressive as it is. Morning. Well, this morning I've brought the tractor up to the top part of the property. Well, this isn't my property, this is the next door neighbour's property that I'm allowed to transit through. But I've had a couple of issues with the tractor. It's just not going into gear quite right. So I contacted Soda Tractors again. Their after sales service is amazing. They're not paying me to say any of this stuff. I'm just letting you know, like, I've been very impressed. A few times I've had questions, I've rung them up, they've set me straight, they've called me back, as I've mentioned in earlier videos. So this issue with the gears, they gave me a couple of things to try. Didn't work. I was a little bit nervous. I didn't want to force anything or break anything, make it worse. I really don't know that much about it. So anyway, I did a little video showing them what was happening with the gears. And then I sent that to the guys at Soda. They said, yeah, we're going to send a technician out. So they're sending a technician from Launceston who's coming all the way up here to have a look at it. And that's just a part of their after sales service. So that's why I'm up here. He should be along any time now. While I'm waiting for the, he's not a technician, he's a mechanic. That's my IT background talking. I've mentioned technician before, the mechanic. So while I'm waiting for the mechanic to come, thought I'd take the opportunity to do a little bit of chainsaw maintenance, mainly on the chain itself. So something that I learnt the other day is, I'll just show you these teeth. So what I learnt is, with your chainsaw, you have your teeth, and you also, just in front, you have these things that are called rakers. Now these rakers, as the teeth, they get worn and you have to sharpen them, but they also lower a little bit, which means the raker ends up higher than the tooth. So these rakers need to be brought down as well. So there's a cool little tool, this, and all I need to do is you sit it on top of the teeth and you move it up, and the raker will sit just proud. And then all you have to do is run the file across. So you just run the file backwards and forwards across that point there, and you just take the little tips off the rakers. That explains a lot, because I was sharpening the teeth and it still wasn't cutting as great as it should have been. I didn't realize those rakers needed to be brought down as well. So that's what I'm doing on both chains, is just bringing those rakers down. You can hear the difference when it stops taking off of the little point. Hear how that just changed? The noise.
That's supposed to line up on that pin to let that come across now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that pin is...
See how it doesn't line up on that hole?
Way out of line.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just a case of knocking that pin back in, but I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to make it worse.
Yeah, we need to adjust it.
Yeah.
And The adjustment is there. So we'll just put some overalls on.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm going to leave the jumper on though.
No, as that sun came out, I just took my jumper off before too. I just been working on getting the chainsaw blades sharpened while I was waiting. I thought it's good use of a bit of time.
So, where are you from?
Canberra.
All right.
Yeah, and we moved here at the start of the year.
So you come from a cold place to a cold place?
Exactly. Yeah. People went, oh, Tassie will be cold. I'm like, no, colder than Canberra.
No
Probably
way.
less.
Did you had a bloody -5 or something the other, didn't 4 or something the other day?
Yeah. And about 2 weeks ago, I was actually back up there briefly, and we had a -5. So yeah. Morning. Well, it's another cool one. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day though, and I'm just about to head up the block. The dogs, they know what's going on. They get pretty excited. They know that when the back tailgate comes down on the car, they're going up the block. So I just got to get their harnesses on, and then I'll show you their routine. Hopefully they perform. Okay, well, the dogs are excited. They're all whining. They're ready to go. They got their harnesses on. Let's see. Go. Up, up. Up. Well, Thor has botched it. Thor! Hup! Quick! Hup! Oh! Thor, get up there! Thor, come here. He is such a silly dog. Thor, come here! Thor! Here! Up! Up! Right, there we go. Back. Now I just got to buckle them in. Well, it is very cold and very windy up here today. It's very icy. If I look out to the southern horizon, I can see snow on the peaks out there, and that wind's blowing straight off that. So it is bitterly cold. I'm kind of glad I'm down here in the tree line a little bit doing this fence. So I've finished off the fence right across to down into the back corner here. As I showed you the other day, from down here it will cut down to left and sort of cut out further before coming up to the top corner there. So I'm just going to work my way down to that bottom corner. Then I'm going to run out the wire for the electric fence. I'm going to get all that out now. I need to return the jig that it goes on, the spindle that the wire goes on. So I've had that way too long. So I want to get that wire out, and then I'll finish off the fence after that. So I'll get back into it. At least it keeps me warm. wire, it had snapped off about that far before I got to the post. The others were that far past the post, so I could pull on it, nail it in, and then I'm going to attach wire on the other side, but that one's just a little bit too short, so I'll have to take my barbed wire roll down now, start adding in some new sections. We're almost down at the bottom corner. For the electric fence on the corner posts, I'm going to use one of these, little isolator. What'll happen is I'll wrap this tail around the post, and then the electric wire will run through there, out the other side and continue, and it pulls away because it's on the inside corner. So I'll pop him about there. And I want that right between the two barbed wires, so to make sure it doesn't slide up or down, I'm just going to put 2 nails around the back there. Right, just like that. Trim that end up. Okay, and the wire will run down the fence, through this, and then across to the next piece. So I'm just going to put another one down here, then I'll go do the other one, the other post. Well, I've been up at the block for about an hour or two this morning. Actually, probably more like 3.5 hours this morning. About an hour ago, this weather set in. So there's this real misty rain coming through. Thought I'll have a look at the weather report. See what the weather report says. You know, it might only just be a passing shower. So, had a look at the weather report. And the weather report says it's going to rain for the next 5 days. But sometimes the weather report can be wrong, so I thought, well, let's have a look at the radar. Radar's always got it right. Looking at the radar, yeah, we got some rain coming through. So I guess that's it for me for today, unfortunately. I did get some good work done this morning though. So what I've done is, I'll flick this around. So from the corner up there, I've now got the electric fence in and attached 2 strands all the way along, right down through along this tree line. So I've got all of the 3 strands of barbed wire are all nice and tight. The 2 strands of electric wire are all there and done, which is fantastic. It's the good portion of the fence done now. So that goes all the way down through there. I'll come down here a little bit further. It's cold, so a little jog will warm me up. So it comes right down through here, gets to that corner post just through there, which hopefully you can see that, and then it cuts down. So continues all the way. I'll get around these trees. All right. Continues all the way down to the corner there. That's all done. So now I've also got electric wire run from the corner, following this tree line all the way across, up underneath that big tree, across, down, and all the way up to the corner over there. So that's all electric wire is run. I I just need to hook it up. Look at how bad that weather is. It's really starting to come in now. So that'll be a job for another day, because yeah, this weather's starting to turn real nasty. So I think it's time to pack up and get indoors somewhere. Now I don't know if you can make out over there through that gap either, but there's a gap in the trees just up through there. I'll try and zoom in if I can with the video, but it might be a bit blurry. Big wedge-tail eagle sitting on a stump. Anyway, time to get out of this rain. That's going to be it for this episode as well. So I'll spin this back around. Catch you later. Have a great weekend. I'm going to wrap this up here, and I'll come back up next week once the weather's a bit drier. Apart from coming up every day to feed the cows, of course, but I won't be getting any work done up here anytime soon. Not for the next few days anyway. Have a great one. Cheers.